All right, small brains with big ideas at a communist pep rally in Queens. Let's check it out. All right, welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. New Yorkers gearing up to be guinea pigs in yet another socialist experiment as a smooth-talking 34-year-old communist from Uganda is poised to win the mayor's race next Tuesday here in New York City. Zoran Mamdani has absolutely no life experience, career highlights, or major accomplishments, so we're going to let him run the most important city in the world for his first real job. Sounds great. Last night in Queens, Zoran, AOC, and Bernie Sanders courted their base. Foreign-born voters broke living in an expensive city and looking for free stuff.
But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City.
New York must have a mayor who represents the working families of this city, not the billionaire class.
We will make our city one where every person who calls it home can live a dignified life. No New Yorker should ever be priced out of anything they need to survive.
It is such an easy vehicle to power, right? You deserve free stuff. Somebody else is going to pay for it. Mamdani wants free buses, city subsidized and run grocery stores, doubling the minimum wage. He plans to freeze the rent on more than 2 million rent-controlled and rent-stabilized homes in the city. And it all seems so easy. Communists see a big pile of capitalist wealth they did not create, like New York's. They can't wait to seize and redistribute it as they see fit, and they don't care if the money runs out. If Zoran checks off all the boxes on his list, the buses will become overcrowded, filthy homeless camps that nobody can get on. Non-chain grocery stores will disappear, creating inner-city food deserts. Hundreds of thousands more rent-controlled properties will come off the market, sending rents straight through the roof, even higher, and small businesses, of course, will go bust in record numbers. That will be the legacy of this man if he's able to get these things done. Zoran is as blind to these realities as he is to the optics of asking his allegedly oppressed voter base last night to shine the lights on their $1,000 iPhones to denounce capitalism.
If you are able, I urge you, my friends, stand up. If you have knocked a door, turn your flashlight on. If you will knock a door, turn your flashlight on. If you have more to give, turn your flashlight on. Together, let us make a light bright enough to banish any darkness.
An iPhone light at that. A child of privilege, Mamdani for years lived in his mother's $2 million condo in Chelsea. Nice neighborhood. He now bashes Andrew Cuomo for his $8,000 rent. For political reasons, Zoran now lives in Queens in a much less bougie rent-stabilized unit, which are typically occupied, we should say, by well-off, well-connected scammers like Zoran. They always get the rent-controlled things. They bribe realtors for access to the limited supply of rent-controlled New York properties. It's always somebody like Zoran in those. Thousands of these properties are occupied by people who could easily afford to pay market price, but just don't want to. Everyone I know in a rent-controlled unit could afford to pay more. Fact. But Zoran supporters see past that because he looks like them. Look at the crowd behind him. Take a close look. This election is a revolution of immigrants. Zoran's base looks more like Asia or Africa than traditional New York, the result of decades of full-throttle American immigration, both legal and illegal, into this country. We have dumped as many people from outside as we possibly can. And for the people who hate this country, needy immigrants are the machine necessary to foundationally change the country. 54% of immigrant households in the United States are on at least one welfare program. You want to talk about unsustainable? That is unsustainable. And the reason we have it is because one political party sees power in that. They don't care if it bankrupts the country. They see power in that. People will always vote for more government if they're on the dole. 54% of households, of people that came in from outside, are on one welfare program at least. Patriotic Americans won't give Democrats their socialist utopia, but foreign-born desperate people sure might, especially if they're on the dole. To really show you what we're getting into here in New York, look past the acting of Zoran Mamdani, who plays a real nice guy. Check out his very hate-filled African Muslim father.
In my view, America is the genesis of what we call settler colonialism. And the American model was exported all around the world. Abraham Lincoln generalized the solution of reservations. They herded American Indians into separate territories. For the Nazis, this was the inspiration. Hitler realized two things. One, that genocide was doable. Second thing Hitler realized is that you don't have to have a common citizenship. You can differentiate between people. The Nuremberg laws were patterned after American laws.
Zoran's father right there. They despise this country, and yet they came here. Why is that? Why are Ilhan Omar and Zoran Mamdani, why do these people come to this country if they hate it so much? You could just get the hell out. Nobody really wants you here. It's interesting because for them and their big ideas, they need money. They don't want to try this in Uganda. You do it here where you have the rich, as Kathy Hochul found out last night. Our brain-dead governor witnessed it firsthand as she proudly endorsed Zoran Mamdani. Screams of tax the rich. A revolution based on all the wrong emotions. Jealousy, disappointment, greed. That's socialism. Led by a walking, talking hypocrisy of a man. A rich kid who attended a specialized public high school in New York City, now working to shut that very school down. He also wants to end charter as well, which gives gifted students a chance to stand out in horrific school systems like New York's. Charter is the only reason some kids actually make anything of themselves in these inner cities, because the schools are so bad, run by leftists. He wants to get rid of that as well. Everything about this candidate is as fraudulent as this group of fake rabbis seen here supporting him.
Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi. We're among the thousands of Jewish New Yorkers who've been out door knocking and phone banking to elect Zoran Mamdani. We're also rabbis.
We know Zoran will fight to make our city affordable and safe for our families.
And for our neighbors of all faiths and backgrounds.
I think they should go to Gaza and spread the message. It might be a little bit more better heard. And if you're voting for the same guy as a trans rabbi, which is what we just witnessed in there, if you've noticed, one of them, you're probably voting for the wrong guy. Typically, trans rabbis aren't very good at choosing political candidates. Over the weekend, Bill Maher slamming Mamdani's dual citizenship in Uganda, which is a terrible country, a rough country with a very bad reputation.
I mean, the issue now that Andrew Cuomo is bringing up in New York is that he is a Ugandan citizen. Uganda is a country where they kill homosexuals.
So somebody who is a dual citizen can't be mayor of New York, or?
I would renounce, if I was the dual citizen with a country whose policy, government policy, was we kill homosexuals, yeah, I would renounce that citizenship.
Grant Cordone is the CEO of Cordone Capital. Perfect person to talk to about the impact of what these policies could do here in New York, and it's good to see you. Let's start first off with the energy behind this young man and just how scary it is that we live in a country where it's this easy to find that kind of energy when you just start saying, I'm going to give you free stuff.
Well, look, man, this guy's going to gut New York City. There's already been $14 billion lost in that city. $500 million of it came from me. We were going to do projects there back in New York last year. And when we saw this starting to happen, we pulled out. Florida is going to be the biggest winner here. And it's a shame that free is now the word of the day to get people to vote for you or get to people to pay attention. This never happens, by the way. All you got to do is do the math across the country. Math doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. People lie. Politicians lie. Every major city in America that has rent control has heavy regulations, Fewer buildings mean more demand and lower rents, okay, or higher rents, I'm sorry. In 15 of the major cities in the country, there's not one exception. These are all blue cities. Mamdani will send more people to the state of Florida. He'll be the greatest thing that happens to the state of Florida. And I believe, Rob, he'll also be the greatest thing that happens to the Republican Party, with more Democrats saying, hey, the Democratic Party left me, I didn't leave it.
Yeah, I think that's why Trump is saying, you know what, I'm going to stay out of this. I'm going to let this kid win because it's going to send a hell of a message to the rest of the country that we're just
100%.
And he's also going to be able to have the fight because Mamdani is going to have to come to him for federal funding, and Trump's going to be able to stand in his way.
Mamdani win, I'll just say, Rob,
Yeah.
a Mamdani win is a win for Trump. It'll be something he could never, ever buy. And that, I agree with you 100%. He's staying out of the way because it will be a victory for Trump. And keep in mind, in 28, if he doesn't run for president again, which I doubt he will, he could easily run for governor of New York and go and clean that thing up.
Now, that is a very interesting idea. I want to get to just
Trump for governor of New York.
Yeah, I don't know if he wanted to take the demotion though. I don't know. He's
already taken a demotion. What are you talking about? Trump makes the best out of a demotion.
Let's talk for a second. Let's talk about housing specifically. I know you're a builder. You're in real estate. Here's what Mamdani said in 2021.
We can establish community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale. And we can fully commit to a new era of social housing, ending subsidies for luxury housing development and using our wealth to build beautiful, high-quality social housing projects.
Why that sounds so great, right? If you don't have any money, it sounds wonderful. What's the problem?
Kamala ran on the same thing and said she was going to build 3 million homes in America. She's 2 million off from what it needs to be done. You can't build if you don't build. You simply have to build. Okay, now if you're going to run everybody out of the state, which is what's going to happen, that means it's going to erode the tax base.
Yeah.
But you still have to get rid of the regulations. If you don't get rid of the regulations, nobody's going to build in New York City. I pulled out of there again. If investors pull out, there's no money to build. Builders will pull out. Investors will pull out. $14 billion has left the city of New York City. 177,000 people have left that city. 25% of the population in New York City says they would consider leaving if Mamdani wins. And lastly, just this week, we had a spike in calls. We own 9,000 units between Miami and Palm Beach, mostly Boca. We've had phone calls. Hey, if this happens, we're moving.
Yeah, I can see that. And for anybody that thinks it's a great idea to start controlling rent, I think there's something like 100,000 units in New York that are off the market that just sit empty because there's no reason why they would be rented out. There's no way to make any money, and there's no reason to do capital improvements either. So you see that failure, and it just gets worse.
Yeah, 90% of the condos sold last year in the city of New York lost money.
Yeah,
we're running specials in Boca right now, Mamdani specials. Okay. You have to pay your rent. Okay. There's no communism or speak of communism allowed on the properties. No application fees for anybody fleeing New York, by the way. We let in without an application fee. Golf lessons are extra, but everything else is on the table.
I like the golf lessons. That sounds good. It's getting to be that Florida time of year. Grant Cardone, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
2 House Republicans are sounding the alarm on this, trying to stop the socialist takeover of New York. Andy Ogles of Tennessee and Randy Fine of Florida, both pushing for a probe into Mamdani's path to citizenship. Ogles calling for a DOJ probe on whether he lied on a naturalization form in 2018. Here he was back in June.
Part of the process when you fill out the naturalization forms, which, here's a copy of one here, is you've got to disclose your activities. So like communism, anti-American activities. And so in 2018, when he was naturalized, he failed to disclose some of the things that he had been doing, one of which was joining the Democrat Socialists of America. That's a communist organization, which quite frankly, at that time, would have disqualified him from becoming a United States citizen.
Andy Ogles there. Congressman Randy Fine of Florida also calling for this probe into Mamdani, and he joins us now. You want to review every naturalization of the past 30 years, starting with Mamdani. What is it that you would be looking for that would make his application moot and he'd be removed?
Well, look, I think we have this problem. The barbarians are no longer outside the gate. They're inside. And you can see it in the results that you're talking about in New York, where people who aren't from here are the ones who are going to elect him. We need to go through every application from the last 30 years and say, did you lie? Did you dot your I's? Did you cross your T's to become American? And we have good reason to do this. They just did a study in Minneapolis where all the Somalis went, where they looked at 1,000 cases of supposed illegal immigrants, and they found 50% of them engage in immigration fraud. How many of these people who are about to elect Mamdani lied to become Americans?
It's a great question. He's from Uganda, which is already very problematic. His ideologies, you can tell just from what his family believes, are terrifying. He hangs out with some of the worst people. Linda Sarsour is one of the most vile Islamists in this country. And she is a very good friend of Zoran and a mentor of Zoran. She'll probably have a lot of power in this administration if he wins in 8 days, which it looks like he will. That's Linda right there. I mean, these are the people. I mean, you can't even, it's so un-American, it's terrifying. But in a place like New York, because we have all of this alleged diversity that's supposed to make us so much stronger, there's a whole coalition of these people. And they've captured the Democrat Party in this city, and we're supposed to just accept that and say that that's the beauty of democracy. That's BS.
Well, look, Mamdani is the worst of both worlds. He's not only a communist, he's a jihadist who stands and surrounds himself with those who believe in Muslim terror. I mean, he is one himself. Remember, he wouldn't say globalize the Intifada as bad. He wouldn't say Hamas should put down their weapons. So he embodies the problem that we're facing in this country, where these two horrible anti-American ideologies, communism, which we spent decades fighting, and Muslim terror, which we spent the last several decades fighting, are coming together. Make no mistake, these people have not come here to add to our strength. They've come here to destroy what made America great.
And for some reason, on the far left, especially among Democrat voting women, it's like the most dangerous possible option is the sexiest thing they could possibly choose. Let's pick Zoran Mamdani, the Islamist communist. Let's go that direction. It's terrifying. Randy Fine, Congressman, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
It appears regime change in Venezuela is imminent. That is next.
If I was Maduro, I'd head to Russia or China right now.
Because?
His days are numbered.
Donald Trump's second presidency is changing America. Now you need to watch Rob Schmitt Tonight on President Trump's next big move. Then tune into Rob Finnerty taking on Trump's critics. President Trump says he watches Newsmax. You should too. Download our Newsmax app to watch us anytime, anywhere. Millions are making the switch to Newsmax. Be one.
Think of all the places that could expose you to identity theft and financial loss. It only takes one mistake at your bank, hospital, or employer for a criminal to gain access to your personal information. And if they do, you and your money are at risk.
I thought I'd be the last person on earth this would happen to.
It was devastating. $110,000 of my hard-earned money gone.
1 in 3 U.S. consumers have been a victim of identity theft. Are you willing to risk your financial future? With LifeLock, if your identity is compromised, we'll step in and fix it so you don't have to. Guaranteed. Our dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialists handle your case from start to finish. They contact institutions on your behalf, dispute fraudulent charges, close compromised accounts, and even procure legal support, far beyond the capabilities of your bank or credit card company.
The bank didn't help me. The police department didn't help me. It was LifeLock who had my back on all this.
I was handled and taken care of. I didn't have to do anything.
In fact, we're so confident that restoration is guaranteed. Plus, LifeLock offers the $1 Million Protection Package with reimbursement up to $1 million for stolen funds, experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses, up to $3 million in total.
When I opened my mail and I had a check from LifeLock, I just started crying. They made me whole.
Act now to save 35% off an annual plan for your first year. Your membership includes identity monitoring and alerts, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist, and the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Don't face identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock, the leader in identity theft protection. Call 800-710-4645 or visit lifelock.com/get35 to get 35% off your first year.
You know, at Leaf Filter, we're proud to say we have millions of satisfied customers. Hey, there's one right now. And another. Leaf Filter stops needles, acorns, leaves, and more. No louvers, no openings, nowhere for debris to get in at all. I guess with cred like that, it's only natural to have fans. Apparently a lot of fans. Apparently a whole lot of fans. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or visit leaffilter.com.
It is time for Maduro to go. I hope Maduro would leave peacefully, but I don't think he's going to stay around much longer.
If I was Maduro, I'd head to Russia or China right now.
Because?
His days are numbered.
There you go. Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. His days appear to be numbered. Our military is swarming the Caribbean tonight. Sources telling Drop Site News that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been the driving force behind the aggressive military and rhetorical posture toward the Maduro regime. Remember, he's a Cuban kid. Parents fled Cuba. The belief is that the regime change in Venezuela toppling Maduro would spark a chain reaction of freedom across Latin America, away from globalist left-wing tyranny and toward right-wing populist governments. Cuba would likely fall very quickly after Venezuela, we understand, led by the Castros since the 50s, and now fellow communist Miguel Diaz-Canel. Cuba's pitiful economy is heavily reliant on Venezuela, propped up by the Maduro regime's oil in Venezuela. If Maduro falls, it would seem that Cuba would fall quickly as well, as Senator Rick Scott said on 60 Minutes last night.
What do you think removing Maduro would signal to other socialist regimes in the area?
It'll be the end of Cuba. America is going to take care of the Southern Hemisphere, and we're going to make sure that there's freedom and democracy.
This as the Pentagon orders the USS Gerald Ford to the Caribbean, the Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier. 60 Minutes reporting Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Machado, who recently won the Nobel Peace Prize, as you remember, and then dedicated it to President Trump. Well, she has a 100-hour plan with the Trump administration for a peaceful transfer of power if and when Maduro finally flees or somebody blows his brains out. Maduro is clearly freaked out by all of this. He's been panicked and screaming to the administration to stop this, speaking in English to the cameras recently, begging Trump for peace.
War, not war, not war. Just peace, just peace, just peace, forever, forever, forever. Peace forever. No crazy war.
Yeah, it's a guy that's tortured so many people in his country, killed so many people in his country to stay in power, and then just flat out ignored the last election. Katie McFarland was Trump's deputy national security advisor. Andres Martinez-Fernandez is a senior policy analyst at Latin America at the Heritage Foundation. Good to have you both on. KT, does this seem imminent to you? Is something about to happen?
What I'm really nervous about is when people start talking about regime change and implying that it's going to be the American Marines who do it. You know, President Trump, throughout his career, not just when he was in politics, but way before that, has always been very, very hesitant about American military force, American Marines, boots on the ground. Now, he's been very much in favor of regime change. But how does that come about? That comes about because of the people of every country want a regime change. It's an indigenous regime change. Now, President Trump has been very willing and very good at using the economic weapon, the trade weapon, in the case of Argentina, helping their economy, helping their peso. So I think that there are a lot of things President Trump is going to do to encourage regime change, but I don't think he's going to send in the Marines.
Andres, what's your thoughts on that? And you know, would it be something like, do we secretly, privately help somebody take him down and then just sneak out in the middle of the night and say, hey, nice job? You know, I mean, how does it work?
You know, I think there are a lot of options on the table, and clearly President Trump doesn't want to take anything off the table when it comes to protecting the American people from this regime, which is just probably the single most dramatic threat to stability and prosperity in the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela has under Maduro dramatically caused a migration crisis across the hemisphere. The Tren de Aragua was born and bred under this regime. So all the instability that we're facing, including on narco trafficking, really does emanate from this regime. So I think it's important when we're talking about protecting the American people in the case of Venezuela to differentiate this from broader regime change and adventurism abroad. This is protecting American interests against a dire threat. And as far as how to go about doing that, I think there are a lot of different options still on the table that are short, certainly, of sending in the Marines for a full-scale invasion. We've seen that in the case of Iran, as far as different options that the U.S. military have that can prompt a change, protect the American people.
KT, if it's interesting because we've talked so much, and like you said, the president's not big on this kind of stuff, and he was very critical of the Iraq War and very critical of Afghanistan and going into these places where you have to be there for a long time. But the other side of it is that if you could inspire a quick revolution in a country, and all of a sudden you had an oil-rich nation to our south that wasn't, any longer tethered to Russia and China, and you freed a country of this brutal dictator, that would be an amazing foreign policy win.
President Trump, I think, is looking at all of the Americas, North and South America, saying, how are we going to keep a couple of things not happen in South America? We don't want the communists, we don't want the cartels, and we don't want China in the region. And so how is he doing it? If you take the example of Argentina, what has he done? Well, Milei, who has just, by the way, had a massive landslide re-election victory on Sunday, just yesterday. President Trump has been very supportive of him. He's helped him economically. He's helped him with his currency. And that's the model. And if that's the model for the whole region, other countries will follow. Now, is Venezuela, a cancer on the entire Americas? Absolutely. But it's quite another thing to say, well, we're going to send in the Marines. Now, there's a lot we can do short of that. We can work, our intelligence agencies can help. We can help with the oppositions. We can protect Machado. We can maybe take individual one-off strikes, CIA efforts. President Trump's not hesitant to use military force, for example, bombing the Iranian nuclear sites, bombing the Syrian airfields of chemical weapons. But he's never wanted to go to war in order to change the regime. Why? Because he thinks that regime is going to collapse on itself.
Right. He certainly doesn't want to sit in Venezuela with troops for 5 years or 10 years. Andres, before I let you go, just to talk a little more about what we saw in Argentina, which was an incredible story, an election that everybody told us was going to be so tight. And this is Javier Milei, who's just this hero of Argentina. And he's doing a great job at trying to fight what's been a terrible government for a very long time and radically change it. And he's going through all the pain of that. He cleans up. How did he do that? Because all of the pain of trying to fix a socialist country is very visceral. And he somehow has managed to keep the people on his side as they go through this pain, Andres.
Absolutely. No, it's an incredible story and incredible leadership from President Milei, who has shown the failures of socialism in Argentina and how pro-U.S. common sense conservative leadership can deliver political wins, even in a far left historically country politically like Argentina. So it's definitely a major victory for President Milei. But President Trump also deserves a lot of credit. He has engaged very aggressively and positively with President Milei, hosted him just a few days ahead of these elections in Washington, and also announced several measures, including a financial aid package, which is controversial, but as the administration defends, it's not going to ultimately cost the American people, and it may have just secured prosperity for this political movement, which is a strong U.S. ally in the region.
I mean, these are our neighbors to the south, and we've had millions of them come into our country over the last 4 years, and this is very interesting. What they're doing in South America is very interesting. I think it surprised a lot of people when they started making these moves. KT and Andres, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Republicans furious over food stamp funding drying up. Shouldn't they be angrier that more than 12% of the country are on this program? We have that next with Congressman Byron Donalds.
Y'all better stay the out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for. Big media will never stop their antics, their bias, their ugly insinuations, their nasty attacks. Well, they may never stop, but I will never stop exposing them.
Neuropoid is the only clinically proven nerve support product for burning, tingling, and numbness. Try our best-selling topical gel for near instant relief. Neuropoid is available at all major retailers, or you can find us at neuropoid.com.
Hi there, I'm Dean Heskin, President and CEO of Swiss America. With trillions of dollars vanishing from the stock portfolios of retiring Americans, many hardworking people I speak with are concerned about the holdings in their IRAs. But I have good news for you. Our team at Swiss America can show you how easy it is to own gold in your IRA. You see, even with economic turmoil all around us, gold continues to not only be a safe haven, but is also increasing to all-time highs. The volatility of markets has created a lot of undue stress for people. Wouldn't you like that peace of mind that diversifying into metals can provide? For over 40 years, Swiss America has helped people just like you own precious metals in your IRAs. So don't miss this opportunity. Call or text our team at the number on your screen to receive a free copy of our Gold IRA brochure today.
If you have wet AMD or DME, you never want to lose sight of the things you love. And your condition doesn't have to steal the moment. Long-lasting EYLEA HD delivers powerful vision improvements that can save your vision for the future. EYLEA HD is the only treatment for wet AMD and DME that helped at least 8 out of 10 people go up to 4 months between injections after 3 initial monthly treatments. Don't take EYLEA HD if you have an eye infection, eye pain, redness, or are allergic to it. Eye injections like EYLEA HD may cause eye infection, separation of the retina, rare but severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye, or increased eye pressure. There is an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke. There's still so much to see. Ask about next generation EYLEA HD, a treatment retina specialists trust.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
Tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
He's breathing. Okay, go again.
Children account for 75% of choking deaths.
That's why I recommend everyone have a life vac in your home, car, or business.
The life vac is simple to use. Just place, push, and pull.
Its suction removes an obstruction out of the airway quickly, saving a life.
If you use your life vac for an emergency, we'll replace it for free. Order now.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-543-3822.
EBT, I just swipe my EBT, my EBT, my EBT, I just swipe my EBT, swipe, swipe, yeah that's right y'all, swipe, swipe, all night y'all, I get what I like y'all, I be eating right dawg.
The U.S. Agriculture Department, which administers the SNAP or Food SNAP program, announcing, quote, the well has run dry.
There will be delays in food stamps for many of the 41 million people who rely on SNAP.
41 million people. At the start of that was a comedian and rapper highlighting the absurdity of the SNAP program in the United States during Obama's presidency. As an older clip. It's something to remember as food stamp funding appears it will run out by maybe Saturday with this government still shut down. Nearly 42 million people in this country are on food stamps. They call it SNAP. It sounds better, I guess. And everyone, including Republicans, is more furious. Everyone's very furious about the funding of it. More furious about that than they are about the startling scale of this welfare program. Since Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty, of course, these programs have just exploded. The exact opposite of what they were supposed to do is what happens. It's socialism in a nutshell. A broken society increasingly reliant on the dole. The entitlement of people that are on these programs is through the roof. Take a listen to this.
Y'all better stay the
out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for
Food stamps getting cut off next month. Like, I don't have a kid that eats like a grown man. I eat like a grown man. We like steak and lobster.
Let me not get no food stamps November and December. Free me. Get my commissary out, because I'm taking up the stove and taking everything.
If you gotta take that food, go ahead and take it. Just go ahead and take it.
I want to be in the grocery store when they start looting it.
Congressman Byron Donalds joins us now, and I want to start with, it's obviously we have a government shutdown and everybody's speaking political lingo for reasons, and you got a lot of Republicans that are yelling about this and about food stamps because I think they're trying to inflict some damage on Democrats for keeping the government shut as this threat looms and kind of split their base up and hurt their base. What do you make of it?
Well, look, from the political side, this is really all because of Chuck Schumer. He's trying to prove that he's tough. And so, yeah, you have SNAP, WIC, you have military officers and military frontline men and women who are not going to be paid, air traffic controllers not being paid, Border Patrol agents not being paid, ICE agents not being paid. And that's all because Chuck's trying to demonstrate that he's a tough guy, because there's really nothing else to discuss. All he said was, let's leave the government open and we'll have these further conversations on the other issues that are up for discussion. Yeah. But we're not going to do that during a shutdown. But on a broader level, you want to talk about the food stamp program and these other benefit programs that have been in existence for a long time. They've really become an area where you're not seeing people getting help and coming off of those programs. There is some of that does exist. I don't want to say it doesn't exist at all. But the broader concern is what happens if you have a segment of the population just continuously being on these programs. That's not helpful to them. It's not helpful to the American economy writ large. It's not helpful for upward mobility or productivity. And so there's some things that we're going to have to look at with these programs into the future. Yeah, and every time, anybody tries to get any kind of requirement, or a proof that you can't work or that anything like that, Democrats just scream. They go berserk over that because I think that endless entitlement is such a big part of their machine, of their apparatus for power, that they know they can go into public housing and come out with thousands of votes. I mean, that's just such a critical part of what they do. No, you're right about that. And look, let's examine a couple things. We went through the president's agenda and got that passed back in July. One of the things that we did do with respect to some of these benefit entitlement programs is that we did start putting in honors checks. Like, you actually had to demonstrate that you qualify. There are work requirements that are back in place. Now, the work requirements are not something that I would say is a true work requirement. Right now, it's 20 hours a week. Working or looking for work or volunteering or going to school qualify. I think that number should be 40 hours a week. Like, look, if you're doing everything that you can do as a human being to try to make ends meet on your own and you're just not getting there, then I could see where there's some assistance that would come your way. But there's a lot of work that has to be done on these programs if you're going to have a system that does help people when they really hit a hard point in life, but doesn't become something that you just continuously live on for decade after decade. The safety net becomes something completely different, and 20 hours a week is only about less than 3 hours a day. It's certainly not a lot of effort. Real quick before I let you go, I've got like 10 seconds left. The country's largest federal workers union is demanding Democrats just reopen the government, pass the CR, reopen. It looks like there's a chance that Schumer and Hakeem might have to do this and get absolutely nothing after wasting the last month with the government shutdown. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, look, the other day on the Senate floor, Ron Johnson put an amendment on the floor that would require that all military officials as well as essential federal workers will be paid. And the Democrats voted no. I mean, this over what? This has now become very dumb. There's no strategy here whatsoever. Republicans, we're not going to give in to their ridiculous demands about health care for illegal aliens. We're not going to do that. And so at this point, now they have their own people saying reopen the government. So I anticipate this thing's going to come to an end probably in about another week to 10 days. And another huge embarrassment for Schumer to go out there and put it all on the line like this and come back with nothing after a month of the government closed. Boy, that's as bad as it gets politically. Congressman Byron Donalds, good to see you. Thanks so much. Thank you. After screaming Nazi fascist Hitler for 10 years, Democrats have a real problem in Maine.
You know Rob Finnerty. He's smart, bold, and stands strong for your values. Rob is fighting for you. Watch Finity weeknights only on Newsmax.
Humana Medicare Advantage plans. Carry this card, and you could have the power to get benefits beyond Original Medicare. These are convenient plans that offer all of the benefits of Original Medicare, plus extra coverage and benefits. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get doctor, hospital, and prescription drug coverage in one convenient plan, with $0 copays on hundreds of prescriptions. All plans include dental coverage, including $0 copays for covered preventive services, vision coverage with eye exams, and an allowance to use towards eyewear, and hearing benefits with routine hearing exams and coverage toward hearing aids. That's more than you get with Original Medicare. But it gets even better, because Humana offers plans with $0 or low monthly plan premiums. You may also get $0 copays for routine vaccines at in-network retail pharmacies, $0 copays for in-network primary care visits, and $0 copays for in-network preventive services. Plus, worldwide coverage for emergency and urgent care when you travel. And Medicare Advantage plans ensure your covered medical costs, including doctor and emergency care, will never go above a maximum out-of-pocket amount that you know beforehand. Imagine benefits like these in one convenient plan. Plus, you'll have access to Humana's multiple large plan networks of doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies. So if you want more from Medicare, call or scan the QR code now to see if there's a plan in your area that could give you extra coverage and benefits, including coverage for doctor, hospital, and prescription drugs, plus a cap on your out-of-pocket medical costs. And all plans include coverage for dental, vision, and hearing. A knowledgeable, licensed Humana sales agent will explain your coverage options, even help you enroll over the phone. Call today, but now is the time. The annual enrollment period ends December 7th. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
I am Mr. H, owner of Immuno 150, possibly the most complete and best nutritional supplement in the world, bar none. Now, it has propelled me to 91 years of age, and my wife Shirley to 82. Both of us are still cutting a wide swath in life, doing everything we did many years ago. All because of Immuno 150, and it can do the very same thing for you. Try it for 90 days so you can experience the difference it can make in your life. Nothing on the market can compete with the way we blend 70 plant-derived colloidal minerals with 80 very carefully selected nutrients. You'll be surprised if you take the recommended dose of Immuno 150 for 3 months. Place your order now so that you can be with us many years from now. Thank you and God bless.
For plant-based, healthy blood pressure support, there's one brand at Walmart that stands above the rest. It's Super Beets by Human. Discover why Super Beets is the #1 cardiologist-recommended beet brand for heart health support at your nearest Walmart today.
So after years of screaming Nazi and fascist at Republicans and at the president, the Democrats have a huge problem tonight. Maine Democrat Senate candidate Graham Plattner, who's crushing it in the polls. He appears to be the favorite. Well, he also appears to have a tattoo on his chest of a Nazi symbol called the Totenkopf, which he has since started the process of covering up with a different tattoo, which is frankly an admission that, yeah, that's what it was. Otherwise, he wouldn't be covering it up. And since this happened, Democrats have stayed with him. They seem to be totally fine with this. He's gotten more popular, which makes you wonder who are actually the Nazis in this whole thing. Even Democrat propaganda outlet The Atlantic takes issue with all this, writing, many in the party say it needs a wider range of candidates to run. Does that include people with Nazi tattoos? You can see right there, small in the sub-headline of that post. Axios now reporting Plattner's campaign manager has stepped down after only a few days at the job. Batya Ungar-Sargon and Mercedes Schlapp join us now to talk about this. Batya, this is an interesting story that we have to talk about, because I thought that we were all just so mortified of fascists in this country until we met this one.
Thank you so much for having me, Rob. Yeah, I would be so much less appalled and mortified by this if I hadn't spent the last, 8 years being called a Nazi by these very same people. It's so despicable. I have to correct you on one thing.
Sure.
There was a poll from before the Nazi tattoo was revealed that found him crushing it in the polls, which caused all the Democrats to rally around him. Bernie Sanders, the Obama podcast bros, they were all saying, look, misdeeds of youth and what have you. Although, he's had it for 20 years, he surely found out at some point what it meant. But Rob, there was another poll that came out this week after the scandal, and he is just cratering in the polls. And what that tells you is that these Democrats sold their souls protecting a guy with a Nazi tattoo for nothing. They thought they were doing it because he was going to win, and now he's going to lose, God willing.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, he's moving down. Mercedes, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think the Democrats have been looking for the outsider, right? You're seeing this in New York City in the race with Mamdani. And they hoped that it was going to be the same thing with Grant Cordone, who was the veteran and the oyster farmer. What a great story coming from Maine.
Right.
The reality is that he is, has criticized police officers, has been made anti-gay slurs. And then he comes out, he says, oh, I'm so sorry. And then it's a Nazi tattoo. Oh, I'm so sorry. And so it's giving the establishment Democrats a chance to try to revitalize themselves in Maine with these change in the polls. This doesn't mean, though, that these Democrats are not embracing these progressive candidates. You're going to continue to see the rise of these progressive candidates. You're going to see the fact that it's the far left that's fundraising for these individuals, because that is exactly where the Democrat Party is heading.
Yeah, I mean, they also they don't have anybody in the party that has a lick of testosterone. And then you get this guy who's like cracking oysters with his teeth, and I was a veteran, and I can kick your ass at a bar, and all this stuff. They're like, oh my God, we finally have, somebody that might actually get men to vote for us in this country. And then he has to have a freaking Nazi tattoo and ruin the whole thing. I want to talk about Gavin Newsom for a second. He goes on this urban podcast and becomes as insufferable as you'd imagine he would be. Take a listen.
It was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread. And
so let's just wait a second here, because Gavin Newsom, let's be honest. Look at him. He's had the most privileged life ever. You don't get hair like that unless you lived a very easy life. His father was a financial advisor for the Getty family, oil tycoons worth over $2 billion. Getty's pushed Gavin into politics and were really kind of led him through it. Aspirations says he was looking to become mayor of San Francisco in the early 2000s. The Gettys were behind all that. Getty name in L.A., by the way, is a big name in California. Here's an old high school yearbook photo. Really looks like a kid that was really on the streets struggling, right, Batya?
Yeah, this is so absolutely ridiculous. The only reason we're talking about Gavin Newsom is because he's managed to raise his profile by being the guy who's willing to take on Trump, to fight Trump. And guess what? He's fighting Trump on Trump's most popular issue, which is immigration, right? This just proves that the Democrats still have no idea what they represent. Factory settings for the Democrats right now is anti-Trump. They have no idea what they stand for. They have no idea what they're asking the American people to vote for them on. They represent absolutely nothing except standing up against a very popular president.
That's right. Got to leave it there. Mercedes and Batya, good to see you both. Thanks, ladies. We appreciate it. Chicago's brainless mayor outraged over semantics.
The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist, nasty language to describe human beings.
You've put up with your old shower for too long. It's outdated, unsafe, and it's time to replace it. But why struggle with a lengthy shower remodel when Jacuzzi can do it in just one day? And there's no need to break a sweat or your budget. Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering 0 interest and 0 payments for up to 1 year. So you can finally convert your old bath to a safer, easy entry shower, complete with a custom seat, grab bars, and slip-resistant floor installed in 1 day.
My overall experience with Jacuzzi has been wonderful. Everything was customized to the way I wanted it for the price that I wanted to pay.
I've had a great experience from start to finish.
Don't take matters into your own hands. Do it the smart way. Give Jacuzzi Bath Remodel a call.
There are only weeks remaining during our limited time offer. We're waiving all installation costs and offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-990-3659.
As Israel suffers attacks on 7 different fronts, it's her poor and elderly who are barely making it through each day.
The tears are from the pain of the life that she lived. She's a survivor of Auschwitz. The years that they would just beat her, years that she didn't have food and felt hungry.
She paid a horrible price to come home from Ethiopia. She lost in that journey her 6-year-old son. A couple of weeks later, she lost her family. She is a wonderful woman, and she is very poor.
I pray that we answer these cries, and our answer is love.
With a gift of only $25, you'll deliver a life-saving food box into the hands of an elderly Jew in need.
She's saying people have a heart. There are good people today.
Call, scan, or go online now, and the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews will rush your food box today.
Hallelujah. This is a holy moment. What you're doing is not simply being kind. You are prophetically stepping into the scriptures and being part of their redemption and our own.
This is a holy calling, and it's our chance to bless God's people. In a world where Israel is under attack, Christians can help fulfill biblical prophecies through practical support and genuine friendship.
For everything you are doing, thank you. It's perfect.
This is what a simple food box does.
You can bring joy, hope, and love to someone praying for your help today. So please, call, scan, or go online now.
Introducing Venue's Lux Fire Suites, your ticket to investment in live entertainment. Venue's leaseback program is offering access to music's best performances from your own fire suite, while enjoying guaranteed passive income and asset appreciation. How it works? Buy a fire suite in one of our amphitheaters, earn guaranteed returns starting at 11% annually, and enjoy liquidity with Venue's guaranteed buyback option. Own your place in the future of live entertainment. Go to venue.live/LuxFireSuite today.
Let's be honest, getting insurance has been on your to-do list, along with assembling whatever that's supposed to be, or teaching your kid to
slow down, honey.
Drive. Fortunately, the Zebra searches over 100 insurance companies to find you savings no one else can. Don't wait. Visit thezebra.com, compare prices, and get insurance today. You can save up to $400 per year on car insurance.
Trevor!
Go to thezebra.com today.
Welcome back. Time now for news from the left. Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson, he's thick-headed, not a bright guy. He didn't really get the memo that nobody cares about woke semantics anymore. Take a listen to how he answers a question given to him about how much money the city of Chicago is spending on all these illegal aliens.
We don't have illegal aliens. Yeah. I don't know if that's from some sort of sci-fi message that you wish have had. Well, listen, the legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too? So look, let's just get the language right. We're talking about undocumented individuals that are human beings. The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist, nasty language to describe human beings.
Yeah. You know why he got like that? He got snippy because he doesn't want to have to answer any questions about how much of the budget is going towards people that aren't paying into it, that are here illegally, because it's been a real sore spot with a lot of his voter base, which is on the south side of Chicago. Inner city black residents do not like that all of these illegals are getting all of this money. They don't like it one bit, and those are the people that put him in power. And he does not like that question. Next up, former White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is still the undisputed queen of identity politics.
Do you have any regrets at all for anything that you said while you were speaking on behalf of this administration?
Look.
It's a simple yes or no. You don't even know.
No, because you're asking for a yes or no question. I want to put some context to it too. I woke up every day as a
Black woman who is queer, who no one had ever seen someone like me at that podium standing behind that lectern. It was an honor and a privilege to have that job. And I did it to the best of my abilities.
You didn't have really any abilities whatsoever. You were hired because you were Black and queer, which you reminded us of every single day for the 2 years that you had the job. And you're still reminding us, and you'll never shut up about it. That's what we've learned. And finally, President Trump sending out the warning yet again. Pregnant women, don't use Tylenol unless absolutely necessary. Don't give Tylenol to your young child for virtually any reason. Break up the measles, mumps, rubella shot into 3 separate shots, not mixed. Take chickenpox shots separately. Take Hep B at 12 or older. And importantly, take vaccine in 5 separate medical visits. This is what they've discovered when they started just doing some research into these shots. They're trying to figure out what is causing this autism epidemic in this country, why we have like 1 in 30 kids are autistic now when it used to be 1 in 10,000. And for some reason, these lunatics on the left are so threatened by this. Gavin Newsom says won't be taking medical advice from someone who can't spell hepatitis and looks like this, with a terrible picture of the president. Tim Walz also up in arms, posting on X, ask your doctor if crazy pills are right for you. So this is how they're going to respond. If you try to protect people from an epidemic that is clearly here, that we're clearly fighting. We've got autistic kids, kids on the spectrum everywhere, all around us now all of a sudden, and this is how they respond as they try to figure out what is happening. How disgusting are these people, and who's in their pocket? Next up, maybe the best Trump dance yet.
Closed captioning brought to you by MagnaLife Arnica Pain Relief Gel. Great for arthritis pain.
Your pain is real. Listen to what real customers have to say about using MagnaLife Arnica Pain Relief Gel. The pain was gone in under 3 minutes. My miracle in a jar.
Available at your local retailer.
At Sono Bello, just one visit, one day. One decision changes everything.
It was instant. I got an amazing flat stomach.
Physically, you can see it. That belly is gone. I feel great. Sono Bello did that for me.
With Sono Bello's advanced micro laser technology, you can permanently remove stubborn fat and sculpt the body you've always wanted, all in just one visit. That's why Sono Bello is America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist.
It's like literally hitting an easy button.
I see a snatched waist and some curves that look really good.
I went from a 14 to a 4. It was a one-day solution for me.
There's no more frustration, just permanent results.
They gave me a whole new body, and I am loving it.
Sono Bello has over 50,000 5-star reviews and board-certified surgeons. Call now for your personalized consultation. That's over a $250 value. Free. Easy monthly payment options make your best body more affordable than ever. Call Sono Bello today.
A peace plan for Gaza. For the plan to advance, Hamas must disarm. Instead,
tonight, terrifying images emerging from Gaza. Videos show Hamas-linked gunmen carrying out a public execution as they return to the streets.
Hamas on a rampage, executing Palestinians, bloody crackdown, spreading terror. For freedom, not terror, Hamas must go.
Will you be able to afford your golden years? Do you worry how you'll make ends meet? You may be leaving up to $100,000 unclaimed. You need this special report. How to boost your Social Security and retirement by at least $100,000 or more. Get your free copy today. You've earned the benefits. Take advantage now. See our special offer to claim your free report. Call or go online today.
I use my Toro Steel Building as my repair shop.
And I use it for my artisanal jam business, and we love it.
Get the steel building you've always wanted, now with unbeatable savings. Toro Steel Buildings, the leader in DIY kits for over 40 years, is clearing out inventory fast. Made in the USA with American steel and designed for easy nut and bolt assembly. Save 20%, 50%, even 70% off, but only while supplies last. Call or visit us online for your free quote. Call now.
And finally tonight, the president kicking off this big Asia tour. He's moving all through that part of the world. He's greeted by these Malaysian performers as he landed in Kuala Lumpur. And look at the dance and look at the president joining right in. I love it. I love it when he starts dancing. He got into this one.
You know, you
this
get
is
off
a
the plane,
This is a new dance, Rob.
You want to stretch out a little bit? Yeah, that is a new one.
That's like he's like kind of.
You need to go full screen on that. Full arms.
We needed a wider.
They're all dancing around. My team just told me, Rob, we might have to take a Trump speech because they're 45 hours ahead of us over there. It's already Thursday. They've already had Halloween.
It's probably like 8 or 9 a.m. right? I think they're like halfway right behind. I think they're on the other side of the world.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on and see if that happens tonight on Finnerty.
Have a good show.
Thanks, Rob.